That's one baby step up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still 1,000 from buying a Birkin. Hi, you guys.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. So I was just, I know, which sounds so weird, but.
I know, but hopefully better.
It makes our birth year sound weird. Because.
Yeah.
We're like 1900s, which is kind of depressing.
When everything was, calmer a little bit. Not all things,
a little bit.
There's more sense of community than there is now.
Listen. Okay, so tiny thing, you guys. Listen, people. I was judging the Real Housewives so hard. And not one franchise. I was judging all of them. I thought they were just shopping and brunch. And I was like, why do I want to see that? Mm-hmm. If either I can do it myself or I don't have the money to do it, why do I want to see that?
Yeah.
And so I have to apologize to all the producers and all the cast of these shows because they're so good. And like, I'm invested in their families and their lives and all of the stuff. I'm completely sucked in. And like, it's not fair because I've seen all the memes and GIFs.
Yeah.
But those don't represent the people. And that's really pissing me off because it's January 2026. Mm-hmm. And shit is happening in the country that does not represent me, but these people technically represent me, and it's not fair. And so I was like, damn. That was me with the Housewives. I was judging them, and I never got a chance to know what was actually happening. So
I love that. I was thinking about this other day, which is really interesting that you say this. Not necessarily about Housewives, but for me, it went there. Just how my brain works. Just thinking about the world, and there's so much going on in the world, and you oftentimes feel like there's no representation for you, or your voice might not be heard as much, or you don't see yourself in something, whatever the case might be. I get so frustrated sometimes that people aren't as outspoken.
I know.
As they should be, right? And then I was making the counter argument in my brain of well, there are things not to say that they don't, maybe they do in some sort of private way, something they don't need to publicly say, whatever the case might be for them. I don't do that. Obviously, I'm very outspoken. And then I went to escapism, right? Of people look at shows like Real Housewives to disengage from reality. Mm-hmm. And it's funny because there's always an argument, I feel like, with Housewives in particular, that people watch them for that same reason, but also for the affluent lifestyles of things that I certainly don't know what that life is like, to be able to have endless bank accounts and all this kind of stuff. I started watching them, and I think subconsciously and then very consciously, because I was so invested in human stories of these women. And I've always said this, watching the conflict and resolution of friendship and adversaries. And some of these shows have been on for almost 20 years now that we've seen literally babies turn into adults. And it is so fascinating. And I could not agree more with you that you get so invested in people's lives and the psychology of it, of, well, what affects this person at the end of the day, even though we see short, little segments of their life on our TVs. But I agree with you. I get so invested in I think the humanity of it, because I think it's very much a part of it, rather than just we're rich white ladies that fight or something. You know what I mean?
No, it's true. And I did not know that. As silly as that sounds, I just was
I don't think it's silly at all. Yeah.
If I couldn't buy that bag, why would I want to see you guys show the prices of these bags that I would never even imagine? I've earned $42,000 in a year. Your purse costs that.
Exactly.
But now I kind of see it's actually they are regular people and their hearts do get broken and they do have kids. And for all you know, that was a gift after somebody cheated or hurt them or just because they can. What does that feel like? Right? Yeah. I was crying my eyes out this morning. Ooh. We were watching this stuff and, I have a 5-year-old and she's asking us questions. Mm-hmm. And then I was crying this morning and I was just it's so hard to make content because someone wants to escape from the news and listen. Yeah. And now we've brought this into your escape from the news, but it's real life. And so just so you guys know, we do watch the news, we do see what's happening and we still choose to create. So
there's a balance that you need to have. That I think that's where my outlet is. I don't know. I was watching a video the other day, but she was talking about politics. She wasn't going in anything specific, but she was saying she's over people saying things like, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to talk politics. It doesn't affect me, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, politics follows you in everything that you do. It's in how you buy your groceries, how you buy your house, how you pay your rent, how you go to the doctor, how you have health insurance, how you have car insurance, how you raise a family. It follows everything. So actually, yeah, politics is in every part of our lives, whether we ask for it or not, whether we choose it or not. There's a level of like, we can't avoid it. And not necessarily because we're asking to talk about things that happen to be political. It's interweaved into everything.
It is. Just like money.
100% like money. Finances, like it's all political. And that's maybe an unfortunate part. And then you look at these shows and I can't afford like a $40,000, Birkin. And I certainly don't think I want to watch it because I don't feel better about myself. But some people do, I guess.
I don't watch it and say like, I want that purse. I kind of watch it and say, what would that be like? I personally, right now, where is there a Birkin store? Like, do you go to Nordstrom and there's a back room or a Saks? Like, I couldn't even tell you where to do that. So, Christmas just wrapped, and so I was watching people's Christmas vacations in like Switzerland and Paris on YouTube, and I was like, wow, what's that like to? I've never even seen Central Park, so I'm like, what's it like to take a horse-drawn carriage through Paris?
Yeah, or just to be able to do it. Yeah,
that's one baby step up.
Yeah.
But still 1,000 from buying a Birkin.
One would argue I'm probably obsessed with Housewives, and I wear that with a badge of honor. I don't relate to this, but I've heard that narrative of people watch shows like Housewives because it's these affluent lifestyles that not necessarily they aspire to, but it's this like a little bit like what you just said of not necessarily maybe they want to buy the Birkin, but however there's something that knowing that they cannot do that, it sometimes fulfills something in them to see somebody else do it. I don't relate to that. I don't relate to that. I'm like, I sometimes watch these and I get depressed. I'm like, well, I'm fucking poor. So
as I eat my ramen.
I was like, well, I just bought chips on sale at the store. I'm pretty sure Kyle Richards doesn't have that problem. But I think but I never watch it like that. I look at the humanity and the people behind these shows, and as some might argue, like you take it too seriously. I'm like, well, not really, because I love the like wacky of it all too. It's all encompassed in the same thing, but you're in it. You're in the Bravoverse
I'm
now.
fully invested. In fact, I was looking at a calendar. So Dom and I used to work at a corporate retail place, and we used to follow sprints. And I was like, do you know Housewives cover the span of the year? All the different seasons. There might be like 2 weeks where there's no episodes, like the week of New Year's where there was a void, but they're constantly recording to then put out another one. And I was like, it's just amazing to me that because I never watched it, my algorithm and everything never showed it to me. And so I had no idea this was so huge. I just saw someone the other day saying, they were like, your favorite musician hasn't even started recording yet. That's how big the world is. And I was like, true. Because whoever you love now is not Britney Spears from when we were kids. Is not going to be who we're going to love in 10 years. And I was like, I
know. Isn't that also so depressing?
So weird. I know. It is kind of.
I think about that too. I was like, for me, it definitely started not at 30, but definitely like, I want to say like 32 maybe. So my best friend and his children, of his boyfriend, fiance, whatever they are, and I spent New Year's with them, and it was just like we were joking. I'm like, are you like, do you love Britney Spears? I'm like, who is that? And it like
not even sarcastic, like who is
not
that?
even sarcastic, like I don't know who that is. And they're 9 years old, and so that's when you start having those moments where you're like, oh my God, am I going to be that person that's still like going to these concerts at a certain age that the young people are like, I'm never going to go to that old singer. And in my mind, like my pop girls, in my mind, they're also like 25.
I know. Because in my mind, I'm still 25.
I wish I don't know if I wish I was. I feel like I'm,
if we were 25 in 2026, we'd be completely different people.
I wish I was. I wish I was 25, but like in 1995. Like I want to go back to the 90s. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah, I would rather be that age back then than right now because,
this ain't it.
Nah.
This ain't the vibe.
No. We were celebrating New Year's, I guess, with people with kids, and they were talking about how their kids can't watch screens until they're 2 years old. And I was like, God. But you watch screens. And I was just like, well, I don't know how that works because, again, my mom has always told me, I wish I could have given y'all a TV. 1984, there wasn't anything for us to watch. And I'm like, but one of my first memories of TV is watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Used to come on at 8 p.m. on NBC. And then on commercial breaks, I would call my friend in middle school at the time on our landline phone and talk about Ashley and Hillary's outfits. And then we'd hang up after commercials and watch the show again. And so now, to be recording with you, overanalyzing TV, getting ready for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion that we're going to watch live and talk about.
I cannot wait.
So I love the technological advances, but then also, like, I miss those core memories of those kind of things. But, like, my 5-year-old has completely unlocked my phone, called her dad on FaceTime from the second floor to ask him to bring her juice. So where is she going to be at 25 if she's doing that now? So I'm like, I'm glad that she knows screens, because she will probably be the person who creates the hologram phone. You know what I mean? Like, we can't really make them grow up the way we grew up. You have to let them grow up now. Like,
I sent my mom this video because I was telling her, I'm like, I don't know if it's like this time of year or whatever, but I've been having this hyperfixation on, specifically for me, like the 80s and 90s, of like wanting to go back to, like, when I say like I wish I was like my age right now, but like in the 90s, I really mean that. But like, and I'm like so much so, like, I keep thinking about it. Like, I'm like, I think I need to talk to my therapist about this, because maybe it's more than just like I wish. It's no, I'm like, every day I'm like, and I think maybe it's because of all the political climate and the world and technology, like, and I have a hard time articulating like what I mean exactly when I want to go back like to a different time period. And I watched this video and I sent it to my mom because I talked to her about it. I'm like, whatever this video is, they're saying exactly what's in my brain. And the thing that hits the most is in this video, they say, you know, our generation was the last to know what life was like before all of this, before social media, before the phones in the pockets. We were the last ones, but we're also the same generation where we were quickly thrusted into this major advanced technology era of one day we were outside playing sports and waiting for those TV shows to come on at those times. We could not stream it the next day. We had to wait, and it was a commitment, like, oh my God, I got to go home because at 9 p.m. I had to watch, you know, whatever it might be. And then the next day we had iPhones. We had computers basically in our pockets. And it's a very weird thing. And I think maybe when you look at all the chaos of the world, maybe that's what it is like this lack of, I was actually asking ChatGPT about this. That's actually my therapist. I don't say like a lack of humanity, but there is now a sense of community that is now gone that we will never get back because we have all these things. Whereas in that time, like pre-2000 really, we had to make effort to call our friends, to hang out, go to the mall, and we were not consumed by anything else other than the present moment. And I miss that.
Yeah,
we'll never get it back.
And I think that's really indicative, like, especially for our generation, because my parents, my mom is in her late 70s. She was like, okay, technology has changed, but either you can choose to get with it or you can ignore it. And you were old enough that it didn't impact your life. Right? She was either about to retire or she was teaching kids to learn how to type.
Yeah.
There was still such a gap, but with us being in the middle, it was kind of like sink or swim. Like, you have to do it, but then we also know how to write in cursive, but then we also know how to use these screens, and we are like this weird Mod
a weird in between. No, it's totally right. It's a very odd thing. And I think maybe that's why a lot of people, because I get these videos all the time on my FYP of people that want to go back, or I get like AI videos of like these, it's usually kids, because of course, like middle school kids, but it's all AI. They're like, hey, you, welcome back to 1998. How was 2025? Like, it was, and it triggers like almost as emotional. I almost get so sad. I'm like, and it goes this whole thing. Like, I heard in 2025, you guys have like computers in your pockets and you don't talk to each other. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so true. So I know exactly what it's a very odd, not even just odd time. I think it's, you know, we're an interesting generation of, we're always having to figure out, we're always, to your point, have to learn how to either sink or swim at all times, because we were thrust into like all this new stuff, and people after us, they already know it, and the people before us were like, to your point, are like, well, if I just don't if I don't have to dabble too hard, it's not going to affect me really. And it affects everything that we do.
It does. And I mean, I can say, especially because I wasn't too big on watching TV, so it didn't really matter where I could stream it or where I could see it. It didn't really matter. But I remember having books of CDs, and then I had to get my iTunes library, and then that went away. And I remember I lost thousands of dollars in downloaded iTunes stuff, and because it didn't all move over to Apple Music. I don't care, it did not. And I remember going to like Best Buy and Geek Squad and being like, get this off my computer.
God, not Geek Squad.
And now I have CDs that you can't even do anything with. But
we're gonna put
them. Stuff mattered, but it kind of didn't. But then even now, like, libraries are being underfunded because people are like, why do I need a physical book? But that's where I'm still like traditional. That's probably the only traditional thing about me, that I want to hold a physical book.
But I'm with you on that too.
I'm sure that's going to be fading too.
Probably is already. I watched this video of this girl. She's a teacher. She was saying, here are some things that I didn't realize people did not know that have advanced in schools. And she said, I think she was a high school teacher. She said, yeah, we don't have, my building was renovated. Now it's more like a modern day school. There's no lockers. They don't have lockers anymore, I guess, in schools.
What do you mean? They don't have books?
No, like she said, and that was the second thing. She's like, and we don't have textbooks anymore. They all have laptops and iPads.
Shut up!
And I had no idea. And she was like, yeah, there's no lockers. They don't need them.
I could imagine that. I could see my daughter just having a tablet for school.
Right?
And then you just swipe to your book.
Isn't that insane?
Gosh.
And I was like, and she said that.
Yeah, she's 5 and then her cousin's 9. So I don't know anyone between that and 35. Right? That's my
same. Yeah. But it's true. Isn't that insane when you think about it? And I not that I'm thinking about like schools and like their infrastructure at all, but
wow,
it's something that I didn't think. Like, she's like, yeah, we don't have textbooks, therefore we also don't have lockers because they have nothing to, they don't need to put anything in them. They have their Chromebooks and Mac whatever's, and they don't have textbooks. And I'm like,
that's fascinating,
isn't that? Then I was like, I was in bed, I was like watching it, like, forgot what day it was. I was like laying in bed, like just doom scrolling, as I should not be doing, but. And I need to put my phone down and go back to sleep because I cannot believe I just read that. They don't have textbooks anymore.
But yet, football still exists and people are watching it. Like, my husband used to get on me so bad for being such a Beyonce fan. And I was like, you realize you'll jump on the couch over a football game, right? I've never. I'm like, let fandom be fandom because you guys are nuts. You guys will paint your faces and I will just put on high heels and
Sports
go somewhere.
Fans, they like fight people and like scream, and
so even that's weird.
Exactly.
So no lockers, but you guys are still doing all the physical sports. The world is such a it's so flip floppy. So anywho, you guys, welcome to 2026.
Yeah,
that was what we wanted to say. We're gonna keep watching The Real Housewives. We might dabble in some other stuff, but so far we are really locked in on this. And honestly, there's enough content to watch. Dom asked me to watch The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Season 1, Episode 1.
What'd you think?
So even if we literally went back and rewatched all of the series, we would have stuff to talk about for at least the next 30 years. It was amazing. It was amazing. But
because Kyle is the only one she's the only OG, so it's probably the only person that you resonate with a little bit because you're watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and then everyone else is new to you.
I'm watching it and then I was like, oh, who's still married? And then I went down a dark hole with Taylor and her husband, and I was like,
season 2 you see a lot.
We'll get into that one. That'll be a separate episode.
That's a conversation within itself.
You could tell there was something, even in that 2 minutes, you could tell there was something. And so then when I'm looking up, who's still married? And I was like, because in Beverly Hills, season 15, Kyle and Mauricio's marriage is off jump in 3 episodes, a really big part. And so to see them outside grilling and the girls being young. And I was just like, this is so different. So we'll definitely do a full debrief on that rewatch because that one was really, really
I have to ask. We'll do a debrief, but I have to ask in this moment because you said it, because Kyla is famously, I make fun of her, and I don't know why necessarily, but she was a big Frasier fan.
Yes.
So, and now you kind of met Camille Grammer. What were your thoughts? What were your? I know it was one episode, but because that's talk about another conversation. Camille Grammer is still part of the conversation to this day. What did you even know who she was when you were like a Frasier fan or anything?
I had never heard of her, period. Like literally before September 2025, I never heard of Camille Grammer. And I say that because you mentioned her to me a couple of times. Mm-hmm. So, okay, it's 2026. I'm rewatching. My face lit up just like this when Frasier came on. I was like, Frasier! And then I was like, Kyla, this is not his show. Yeah. He's just a person. But I was like, Frasier. And I was like, ma'am.
That is so, well,
ma'am.
It's not going to go well for him this season.
Okay. Yeah. So first impression, I liked Camille. I like that she owns all of it. And she's just like, I have 4 nannies. But then when I found out she was a surrogate, I was starting to judge her. I was like, I did not understand why he would go to prepare for a show for a year. I was like, oh, she has 4 nannies because she's going to fly out and see him every weekend. No. So I think anybody else, well, correction, their marriage in 2026 would not go that way because people ask their husbands more things now. People are, I think, are more communicative. Yeah. At least I would hope so. Yeah. You being the big name, bringing in all the money with 4 nannies, go see your man. You know, I feel like, or even some of her friends would have been like, why aren't you going to see him? He's so busy, he can't see you, but you have 4 nannies. Like, there would have been more of a conversation if that was happening 2026. Yeah. I would hope.
One would hope. I can't wait for you to watch the rest of this season. Because I'll tell you this. I'll put it this way. I won't give too much away.
No, you already told me she was the most hated. I already know. I'm waiting for the reunion.
I think it was People magazine that put her on the cover that said America's most hated housewife. And it'll make sense as you go on to the season because the things that she says, you're just like, I'm like, you are and so there's a redemption arc in season 2, but now she's kind of like, I don't know, she's very odd but she still like weaves in and out of like she'll show up at parties even to like this day. She's very outspoken on Twitter about the show and not in a positive way. She's a character, that's for sure.
Well, I enjoy my life, right? I don't know how it would be portrayed on camera with other people. I don't know. And so she is 100%, I believe, unapologetically her. And I don't think she even realized until there were cameras where people were like, okay, you showed us this picture of being a dancer in the 80s. It's the early 2000s. Like, why can't you just be like, my husband is famous and I take care of the home? Like, managing the nannies and the managers is a job, right? That's project management.
You can certainly make it one, yeah.
But I don't see, I think she probably was like, shocked that people weren't understanding why. And she's like,
I think so too.
This was my life. Especially because there's the other women like Adrienne, who is definitely like a super, super boss. Yeah. Taylor, who was starting some business. We didn't find out what it really was. She said I was a consultant. Kyle, I didn't care for Kyle and Kim just saying like, we've been famous because we've always been. But I think that's how old Hollywood works, right? Yeah. Was it Kim or Taylor? It was either Kim or Kyle who was talking about they would go to a party with Paris Hilton and they'd be like, you're a star. And Paris was like, she's like, no, I'm the star. And they were like, no, but she's like a legit star.
You know, people are, I can't remember how many seasons Kim was on the show. I think I want to say 6. I remember, I think when Lisa Rinna came on the show. Kim Richards, enter at your own risk because she has a very interesting story. It's kind of tragic in a way, a little bit. I don't think people have seen or heard from her in a while. She has an alcohol problem, and you're going to learn that quickly. And it becomes her storyline, but people, like Housewives fans, especially of Beverly Hills, love Kim. She is, and it's going to sound mean, I don't know why necessarily. Like, Kim has never had, it's kind of one of those that she garnered, like she tapped into some people's hearts, I guess, and they just revere her for some reason. Like, she's kind of a mess, though, and I feel really sad for her. But talk about a like wormhole you could go down. Yeah, it is very interesting. Actually, all the Richards sisters and like now Kathy from the show now,
which I still don't understand how those 3. Like, I was gonna say their mom must be so proud because they had such drastically different lives, but they all were successful in their own way.
So their mom, the three of them, have the same mom. They called her Big Kathy. Not them. That was what she's known.
Like as a momager.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
She was the momager before it was.
Yeah, the original Kris Jenner.
Yes. Yeah. And she has a very tainted, questionable past. There has been a lot of rumors, allegations. She just wasn't really a nice person. But she really instilled in her daughters basically to marry rich. She wanted them to have wealthy lives. And she tried to get them all into acting. I think Kathy tried or modeled and didn't work out, but she ended up marrying a Hilton. So she was like, check, got that one done. And so that's kind of like the MO of like what in general, I've heard about like their mom. She was not the most loving person. I will tell you, I watch this creator on TikTok that does deep dives just like of mostly old Hollywood, but she does newer stuff too. But she did Kim and Big Kathy, and it's very interesting. You can go down a rabbit hole so quick because it's very fast. There's actually, I think someone wrote a book about them.
So I'm gonna love that because life can be good and life is also super complicated. So to have
super, yeah.
A confusing past or a complicated past, and then you say my kids will do better than me, and if that means marrying rich, and then now they're on TV or married to a Hilton.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that like your life isn't a monolith, so you might be successful with money if that's success, but then you have these other things. I think that part's fascinating, right? Because if you had Kyle Richards as your mom, chilling, cushy life, my sister's rich, you're famous, you're raising different kids out of that, right? Yeah. And so Big Kathy probably had to be who she was to get them to be where they are. So I'm curious about that. But real quick about Kim. In the pandemic, moms kind of took a turn where they became smothering again, but they used to be like that. Like 90s, early 2000s, if you were having kids intentionally, they were like that. They were your whole world. Your husband would go out and work. I mean, yes, women were fighting to be able to work outside the house in the 70s, but like by the 90s, we had took a whole turn where we were like, if I can be at home, I'm going to literally, a homemaker is my job. So I'm seeing her through that lens, and it'll kind of be up to her to tell me if that's it or not. But when I saw that, like, that was it. My mom kept my bedroom well through college. That was my room. Yeah. And then when I came back from college, I moved right back in. Like, they mothered like that.
Yeah, she definitely was that. Like, buying a new house. She's like, what? Like, what?
She's like, I gotta have rooms for them.
Yeah. I'm like, and Kyle's like, they're all adults.
But you know what, though? Ooh, and I'm like, we gotta get AI to do this. Take Kyle Richards now and put her in those episodes from then. And I bet you Kyle and Kim have a lot more in common now than they did back then. Because
that'd be interesting.
To see Kyle back then, I guess 15 years ago.
Yeah.
She's bubbly, she's laughing at everyone. She's not flirtatious. She's giving Dorit. She's just really social, really this, really that. Whereas
she's having fun. Yeah.
She's having fun, and she almost she gets to be the pain in the ass little sister.
Yeah.
And to see her now, season 15, matriarch is not the right word, but you are the OG of the Beverly Housewives franchise now. And it's literally a different role. And you can see that. You can see it.
But I think you're right. She's definitely, I can't remember what season it was. It was after whatever season. So because her and Lisa Vanderpump, obviously, you could see it in the first episode. They're friends.
I'm sorry. I never knew Vanderpump Rules was from her.
Yeah.
And Lisa Vanderpump.
Yeah.
I literally dropped the remote. I was like, what? Yeah. I didn't know she was a real person. I just thought they made up Vanderpump.
Season 3, I want to say, is when season 3 Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is when they launched the show Vanderpump Rules, and you will see it's a very interesting episode because you see like there's a whole thing, like there's a housewife on there that her name was Brandy, and
like working for Lisa?
No, she's a housewife.
Oh, okay.
But she was friends with Lisa. She became famous because her husband, now ex-husband, Eddie Cibrian, who's now married to LeAnn Rimes. It was a big scandal during that time because LeAnn Rimes was married. He was married. They were on a Hallmark movie together, and they had affairs on their spouses with each other and getting married. So it was like a big Hollywood. It was in the news. I remember it kind of like Leanne Rimes was an adulteress. And so, yeah. So what you learn though, this is so smart when you think about it and so cool. So in season 3, so Brandy's on the show, right? Mm-hmm. And she finds out, so one of the girls, so what you find out about Brandy's now ex-husband is he was fucking around on her with different women. One of which was a waitress. That's now Sheena, who is famous from Vanderpump Rules. And that is how they introduced Vanderpump Rules into the Bravoverse. There's an episode where she sits down with Sheena in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They talk, and you see Sheena leave, and then that's the opening of Vanderpump Rules for the very first time. It's so, like, cinematic.
Back in the day, I used to watch the Rachel Zoe Project, and then I dabbled in Vanderpump Rules.
I loved Vanderpump Rules.
I don't know how I could have watched it and they didn't show Lisa, because I'm sure they did. But it wasn't until I saw Beverly Hills. She's not a main character
or anything, yeah.
I mean, I literally thought Vanderpump was maybe the name of the street it was on. I don't think I ever knew that was an actual person. I did not. Yeah. And so I was watching the show and I was like, you know, it's her with her dog, and you see her husband they're having lunch at the pool. Because my daughter was watching it, because I was like, this is one of the shows you can watch with kids in the room. And she's looking at her like daybed for the dog outside.
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, Vanderpump Rules?
And you put two and two together. Yeah.
I feel like you have to watch Housewives if you like any other show on Bravo, because clearly the threads are like all woven into everything.
It is so, I was
obsessed.
I used to love Vanderpump. They rebooted it and I think it's weird. I don't watch it. But I used to love Vanderpump Rules. But that episode where they introduce it I think it's the only time Bravo's ever done this when it comes to like a whole nother show.
Okay.
I forgot what episode, but it's in season 3, Real House of Beverly Hills. They introduce the show. Wow. It's like I'm trying to think. It's like, I guess, not a collab, but it's both. It's not only an episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but it's the very first episode of season 1 of Vanderpump Rules. And it's because Brandy had a whole thing talking to Sheena, who fucked her husband. And they have a whole thing, and then you see Sheena goes, and that's the opening of Vanderpump. And it's just so, like, when I look back on that, like, I think that was way over 10, 11, 12 years ago, whatever. It's amazing. That's so funny you didn't know that, though.
That's the ultimate, like, cross-promotion, because we just saw the Real Housewives of...
Yes.
Yeah, we just saw the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City do a, Below Deck.
Yeah.
Merge, but it wasn't...
very similar, yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely going to watch every season of Beverly Hills, because you're obsessed with Lisa Rinna, and I only know her from memes. And so I think it would be interesting to watch the whole thing and kind of learn her. Yeah.
There's one season that is not before Lisa. I think it's season 4. I want to say Real House. I hate that season. I think it's the dumbest season. It's so stupid. If it didn't exist, you don't miss anything. Really.
Wait, do you mean okay? Now, you and I have our least favorite Sex and the City episodes, but we'll still rewatch them all. Is it like that, or will you just straight up skip the whole season?
Like, it literally does nothing for me. Yeah. Like, even the episodes I don't like of Sex and the City, you're right, I will watch, because there is some sort of entertainment value. That whole season, I won't watch it, because I don't... I mean, maybe once I will. I have not watched it since it aired, and I have no... It does nothing for me of... storyline. There's nothing in it for me.
I'm taking that as a personal challenge. Now that we are over analyzers, we're gonna have to watch after we so we're gonna do season 1 episode 1 of Beverly Hills, because we can definitely go deeper than this. Season 1 episode 1 of Salt Lake City, and then we're watching season 4 of Beverly Hills. Because I might like it. I mean, now that you have me to like go back and forth with, who knows? Because remember, in the first season, Adrienne is talking about, I guess their plane or something was used for the Obamas, and her husband's a Republican.
Yeah.
So there might be some stuff that you blacked out.
It could be. Because when you rewatch those, you pick up on things you didn't realize. And I definitely do that. Adrienne's really weird. I think I texted you this when we were watching it. It's because in that whole episode, she says, yeah, I'm a Democrat, he's a Republican, yet like this year she had a Christmas party and she invited Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I'm like, okay, maybe because she's rich. And I'm like, are you becoming one of those? Like, I don't know where she stands. I don't know what she is. She's very interesting though, too. she has a very interesting arc that happens, and then she doesn't show up to the reunion and gets fired. And then I think it's season 3. I want to say.
I'm so excited. Here, I mean, this show makes me think of every favorite book I've had, and then you realize the people were like, "Oh, that was my life," and then I borrowed that from my neighbor, and then my friend went through this, and I put it together in a book. But only we get to actually see their lives through the lens of like the producers and the editors. So
they're literally at the
fully
mercy
invested. Yeah, and it's completely like addictive because you're just like, what are they doing now? Or I remember those like 5-inch stupid heels that we all used to wear. I personally had Skechers. They have
not Skechers.
So I'm just like, oh my gosh, I remember all of those.
To our beginning point too, like talking about like before, like I mean, in this whole episode of like basically nostalgia. I think that's why I love watching early seasons of all the Housewives, is because you're going back to like the late 2010s, or not late 2000s, early 2010s, and life even then was so different in a way of like there still was a very simplistic, even with all the technology and stuff, there was still even a dramatic like shift from then to present day 2026 that. Whether it's the fashion or you even see what kind of iPhones they had and how they thought, oh my God, they saw it home buttons. We thought it was the coolest thing. It could scan your fingerprint. We thought, how else can it get better? And then now we have facial recognition, and who the hell knows what's going to become next. So I think watching like season 1 of Beverly Hills, you even get like a sense of nostalgia just for that time period of like, the shoes that they wore and like what was in style, and I do appreciate that too, looking back.
I know, because
just that time.
I don't know if it was a decade, but there were at least 5 years where Paris Hilton, everything she touched was gold. And I just saw something the other day, and she has like 2 or 3 kids now, and I'm like, what?
She's a mom, and
you're just like, oh my gosh, life keeps going. Even though these things were like so huge to you at the time, and now you're just like, wow.
You're like, who are you?
Because I know that my life looks completely different from when I was 25.
Oh, sure.
I wasn't even in law school yet at 25.
Yeah.
But I still feel 25.
That's a good thing.
Like, you have all the energy. I still have all the, like, the only thing that's changed is, resources and technology. Like, so shout out to that and using my treadmill at home.
That part.
Maybe that's keeping me young.
That part.
Yeah, so thanks you guys for this little happy new year nostalgic
walk down
over analyzing the world right now. All right, get in the comments, let us know
what are you nostalgic about. What do you miss? What do you want us to watch? Is there anything you guys want us to watch that
besides season 4?
Besides, that's going to be a journey.
Just think about all the stuff that I know of the series. We could do Potomac season 1. We could do Orange County season 1. We could literally do all of them.
All of them. There's so much content that's out there.
And my favorite thing, and you probably overlook it, is we get to show all of your expertise because you know so much about the entire thing. Like, you just seamlessly roll it off.
I'm gonna put that on. I'm a Housewives expert.
You are. You could be like a historian.
At least I know something.
Yeah, housewife historian.
It's okay with me.
I know. All right, you guys. Talk to you later.
Bye.